Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related queries. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Stock-related, why are they moving? Not queries. Yes,
Not
that
queries.
also we do, but that's in buy now, sell now.
Buy now, sell now, 11 a.m. Yeah, muscle memory, I must say. But Ankita, coming to you, HDFC Bank. Why is this one in focus today?
That's correct, Cheryl. HDFC Bank is in focus today. It's on the back of a note that Macquarie came out with, and they're maintaining an outperform on the counter with a target price of 2,110 rupees per share. Now, that they feel that the elephant will dance, we just have to be patient, is what Macquarie is saying. Now, they see the near-term pressure could be there, but they're looking beyond FY24. They feel that the management is confident of doubling the balance sheet in the next 4 to 5 years, and HDFC still remains their top pick from the sector, and on the back of that, Macquarie has maintained an outperform on the counter, and that's the reason why HDFC will be in focus. Right now, however, it is very flat in trade.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that. Let's move on and talk about Trident Limited. We've seen all these textile names that are buzzing in trade, but Trident today specifically is in focus only because of a bulk deal that has happened. We're seeing a change of hands that has happened in Trident Limited of around 10.9 lakh shares. Change of hands this morning, and after that also we've seen that spike up coming in. But let's not forget, these stocks are already buzzing on the back of a lot of demand trends and everything that is shaping up in the textile market. So keeping an eye out on Trident Limited. Today it's going to be on the back of bulk deal. Let's watch out for the names that actually come out in the evenings of who is the buyer and the seller of this. But 10.9 lakh shares change of hands this morning that has happened for Trident Limited.
Alright, let's shift focus. Let's talk about car trade. Let's put a spotlight on that particular counter, because last time I checked, car trade was trading higher by approximately 5% or so. It has actually snapped a 6-day losing streak winning in today's trading session, and this is also the stock after its results that it announced on August 10th. The stock has already seen a decline of about 9.3% or so. This actually post a con call yesterday, or post a call with analysts and investors yesterday. You had Nomura, they came out with a note on car trade where they're saying car trade's acquisition of Sopec Auto India will nearly double the business scale, and therefore Nomura has gone ahead and maintained a buy stance on the company with a target price of 678 rupees per share. Suppose this reports of faith coming in from Nomura on car trade, you can see the stock has actually managed to snap a 6-day losing streak. In fact, now trading higher by about 4.5% or so.
Absolutely, keeping an eye out on car trade. But let's move on, talk about Bajaj Finance, Vamakshi. And why is this one in focus today? What's the news flow for picking up Bajaj Finance today?
Well, yes, Vinny, Bajaj Finance is in focus today, and that is on the back of a brokerage note that has come in from Bank of America. They've maintained a buy rating on this counter. They've also given a target price of almost 8,750 odd rupees. Now, what they have highlighted is that there are multiple levers in place in order to support the growth that Bajaj Finance has outlined. They are focusing on diversification. They are also quite proactive as far as the action is concerned on unsecured growth. And in fact, the FY24 target that they have given is still intact. Now, keep in mind that Bajaj Finance earlier, during its earnings itself, had revised its AUM growth guidance upwards, and definitely that is a positive factor that is playing out for this counter. Other than that, Bank of America has also highlighted that there could be a higher cost of funds over the near term. Access to new liquidity pools is also to be monitored as far as Bajaj Finance is concerned. So given all these factors, Bank of America has maintained its buy rating, target price of 8,750, and that is the reason why the stock is in focus today. As of now, the stock is up nearly 0.7%.
That is Bajaj Finance for you. That is in focus in today's trading session. But Ankita, let's talk about Tata Power, and this one is powering ahead.
Correct, Cheryl. Tata Power is in news on the back of the fact that Tata Power Renewable Energy has signed a PPA of 9 megawatts on campus solar plant with Tata Motors Limited for Patna Nagar plant in Uttarakhand. Now, this plant will be the largest ever on campus capacity at a single location in any state. Now, the installation will lead to an estimate carbon emission reduction of 25 tons of CO2 in that state. And on the back of that, Tata Power is in focus. It is up 9.7%, almost 1% up in trade.
Okay, let's move on and then talk about Lemon Tree. and why is this one in focus today? It actually managed to touch a 52-week high in the intraday trade as well. And this is because mainly the company has actually signed an agreement, and this is for 2 properties that is coming in. And Lemon Tree in Bhubaneswar will have 60 rooms and is expected to be operational by Q4 FY25. Also, Lemon Tree Mountain Resort that is in Kasol will be in service in the 3rd quarter. So these are the 2 properties that they have signed an agreement for. And on the back of this, one in Odisha, one in Himachal Pradesh, we're seeing that Lemon Tree is in focus today. And that is why we are seeing this stock is buzzing away in trade, and as of now also trading near the day's highest point, 2.2% uptick there.
Shifting focus from hospitality then to real estate, and let's talk about Mahindra Life. And this particular counter is buzzing in today's trading session. It saw an uptick of as much as 8.8% one point in time, taking the stock to the record high levels. It's given up some of those gains, nevertheless holding on to strong gains above 4.6%. ICICI Direct has gone ahead and raised the target for the company or for the stock to about 650 rupees per share from 470 rupees per share earlier. Therefore, they have maintained a buy stance on the company. Also, remember that this ICICI Direct's target price for Mahindra Life is the highest on the street and 10% above the 12-month consensus price target of around 588.7 rupees per share for Mahindra Life Space. What ICICI Direct is saying, they like Mahindra Life Space given its strong parentage, management's focus on expanding its overall scale of operation and also comfortable balance sheet. So that's the reason why they're giving a thumbs up. In fact, raised the target price to 650, which is the highest among the rest of the brokers, and the stock is actually doing cartwheels in trade today.
Absolutely keeping an eye out on that one. But let's move on and bring on board Osho Krishan as well to talk on the technical front. And Osho, very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining in with us on Market Fatafat. We're going to start with your first stock for today that you're going to talk about is LIC. Now, looking at LIC and the charts, what is the indication that you're getting in terms of LIC? Should the investors expect a good run-up for LIC now?
Very good afternoon, everyone. Well, looking at the charts of LIC has seen a very decent uptrend in the current financial year. And even as of now, from past, let's say 1 month, it has keeping up the higher pace and being in the cycle of higher highs, higher lows. As of now, trading around the levels of 660, 665. But we are expecting that since it has came above the 200-day SMA after a very long time, so we are expecting that from here onwards, the uptrend is likely to continue in this counter. For short-term perspective, 700 will be the immediate target, and even for medium-term perspective, 740 to 760 should be seen as a very strong target in the coming period. So overall, there is a very bullish stance in LIC, and one should definitely try to even accumulate this counter for short-term and even for medium-term perspective.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Brigade Enterprises and Vamakshi. This particular counter is in focus in today's trading session.
Well, yeah, Cheryl, the stock is in focus, and that is on the back of an announcement that came in from this company. The company has entered into a sale deed in order to acquire a land parcel in Chennai, and this is for developing a residential project there. Now, this land was acquired from Pfizer Healthcare for an overall consideration of 139 odd crores. This land parcel is located at Rajiv Gandhi Slike, which is in Chennai, and in fact, this land parcel has a total area of nearly 6.54 acres and a developable potential of nearly 1 million square feet. So that is the news flow surrounding Brigade Enterprises, and that is the reason why the stock is up in trade today. As of now, the stock is gaining momentum, up nearly 0.8%.
Okay, let's move on and then talk about Apollo Hospitals. Osho, that's the one on the charts that you've picked out for us as well. When you look at it, from this July highs of around 5,300 levels, we've again seen the stock falling a bit. What is it that you're expecting in terms of charts for Apollo Hospitals? Should we expect those 52-week high levels coming in anytime soon?
This counter has seen a breakout near the levels of 4750, 4800 zone. So from here onwards, one can expect, because the stock has retested the neckline of the breakout, so that is a very positive development in technical analysis. And as of now, as you have mentioned, that it has corrected from the levels of 5300. So that means after the correction, it has retested the breakout zone, and that portrays a very positive uptrend in this counter. And we are expecting that from here onwards, one who have missed the rally should re-accumulate this counter or re-enter in this counter for the immediate higher target of 5300. But from here onwards, we are expecting that the lifetime highs of above 5800 should be tested in Apollo Hospital.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Apollo Hospitals. But Ankita, Tata Communications, why is this in the spotlight today?
That's right, Cheryl. Tata Communications is in spotlight today. The stock is up almost more than 3.5% in trade. That is because the telecom dispute settlement and appellate tribunal has ordered central government not to take coercive steps against the telecommunication major in relation to the 991 crore license fee demand till the next date of hearing. Now, the interim order was passed on a plea that was filed by Tata challenging the telecom department's license fee demand for the years 2006, 2007 and then 2007 and 2008. And on the back of this news, Tata Communication is up more than 3.5% in trade.
Let's move on, and actually let's keep it with Tata Communications. And Osho, you two have picked up Tata Communications for us. On the charts, what is Tata Communication looking like today? Obviously, we've seen that run-up coming in, but 6 months also, we've seen a very sharp up move, specifically when you look at it from the month of May, we've seen a very sharp run-up. So now, what is the expectation for Tata Communication?
See, overall, Tata Communications sees a very decent up move. Post the same up move, the counter consolidates in a very strong manner. So we have witnessed a consolidation in Tata Communication from past 3 weeks, and again in today's session it has, as you have mentioned, that it has attracted a lot of price and volume action in it. So from here onwards, one can again expect the 52 weeks high to get retested, and even we are expecting it to get breached in the coming period. So overall, there is a very bullish sentiment in this counter. And even from the risk reward point of view, the support is lying very nearby, approximately around 1680 is the very strong support zone. And on the higher front, we are expecting 1860 to 1880 as an immediate target in Tata Communication.
All right, but Osho, let me stay with you and ask you about KPI Green. How is this one looking on the charts to you?
See, KPI Green has seen a very decent flag pattern breakout on the weekly charts. So we are expecting, because since past 3 months, the counter has already witnessed a very strong rally from the levels of 500 towards 900. And again on the weekly chart, as we are witnessing a breakout, so again 300 to 350 point of rally can be seen in this counter, but the duration can be for 3 to 4 months. So we can expect an upside target of approximately 1100 to 1200 from medium term perspective. So one should definitely try to accumulate this from medium term investment perspective.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Union Bank. And why is Union Bank in focus today? Union Bank of India has approved the raising of around up to 5,000 crore rupees via a QIP, and they have set the floor price at rupees 91.10 rupees per share. This was in a filing they announced yesterday. So on the back of that, we're keeping an eye out on Union Bank. As of now, Union Bank has given up most of its morning gains that we're seeing, and as of now, trading at the day close down almost 1% in trade.
All right, that is Union Bank for you, but let's stick with the banks and let's talk about IDFC First Bank. Then Osho, this one has been a top favorite of a lot of our technical analysts. Do you think that right now also, despite the sharp run-up, the IDFC First Bank has registered 71% last 6 months, it's still a buy?
See, IDFC First Bank is looking very positive as of now. It has been maintaining the cycle of higher highs, higher lows, and consistently hovering above the 20-day exponential moving average. So overall, there is all bullish parameters that can be seen on technical patterns. So one can expect the 3-digit number in IDFC First Bank, and immediate target that one can expect should be of 98 to 100. And post it reaches those levels, then again we have to review, because as you have mentioned that the counter has already seen a very decent up move. So around the levels of 9800, one should try to review the counter, and again if there is any dip towards the zone of 88 to 90, one should try to reaccumulate this counter for the same target.
Okay, but let's also go across and listen to what Nilesha, MDNC or Envision Capital had to say in terms of the small banks, fintechs. Where does he see in terms of the growth for this banks as well? Go across and listen.
Like the top 3-4 IT companies, I think similarly the top 3-4 banking companies will probably grow in double digits. So obviously that growth rate is better versus the top IT companies, but I still think probably they'll grow at about maybe 15% plus minus 2-3%. I think versus that, we will see a lot of smaller banks or specialized lenders or maybe some of the fintechs itself who can grow at a much higher pace, who could potentially grow at twice the rate of any large bank. And I think therefore still there. I think one should look out for some of the emerging names out there.
All right, so that's the take coming in from Nilesha then on the fintechs and the smaller banks. But Osho, coming back to you, HUDCO. How is this one looking on the charts? We've rarely actually spoken about HUDCO, but as you can see on the screen, 68% in the last 6 months. Good levels to exit, or do you think good levels to add some more?
See, overall, the counter has seen a very decent run from the breakout zone of 60. So as of now, the counter has entered the overbought territory, but the overall structure remains on the bullish front. So any dip comes towards the zone of 68 to 70 should be the apt zone to re-enter in this counter. But looking at the overall trajectory, if there will be any breach above the zone of 75, then one should try to even accumulate at the higher zone. So as of now, overall, the target price for HUDCO should be approximately around 80 to 85. But for short-term perspective, one should try to accumulate in a staggered manner. If there is any dip towards 70 or 68, one should then try to accumulate 100% capital. But as of now, one should definitely try to accumulate, let's say 20% of their capital, which they want to infuse in this counter. For immediate upside target, one can expect the upside potential of 85 in HUDCO.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about HDFC Enterprises, and this particular counter is in focus because I saw a huge block deal take place.
I see the huge specification that has come in.
Yeah, it was 31% equity. When do you get to see such a huge amount of equity change hands via block deals? 31% equity actually changed hands via block deal. The stock actually fell as much as 4%, but from there on it's only recovered in trade today, because given the fact that you have a lot of source-based information floating around with the list of buyers for this particular counter. So you had about 97.3 lakh shares change hands via block deal, but the official data on who are the buyers, who are the sellers are yet to be known. So yes, HDFC Enterprises, Ankita, Vinny, keep on your radar for tomorrow's Fatafat as well.
Absolutely, surely keeping on my radar. Seems like I'm just going to type it down now and keep it in my name. But that is HDFC Enterprises. What a recovery that we have seen. I was absolutely in shock looking at the recovery. From 4% negative to 4% positive is something you should watch out for. That buyer names are surely going to be interesting over there. But let's move on to the next one. And Osho, you've picked out JBM Auto for us. And in terms of the charts and technicals, what is the indication that you're getting for JBM Auto? Look at the up move that we've seen coming in the last 6 months, 176% return, and specifically since May, what a sharp up move. What is the upside now you should be expecting from JBM Auto? Is it time to actually book out profits now?
See, overall, this counter has seen a very strong move to the levels of 1500, post which it underwent some kind of profit booking, and even on the basis of profit booking, the stock has nearly corrected from 1500 towards 1200 odd zone. But from past 1 week, we are again witnessing some kind of strong traction in this counter, and again it has retested the 52 weeks high. So from here onwards, one can expect the upside rally of more 250 to 300 points on the higher end. That means 1800 near about should be the target for short to medium term traders in this counter. Overall, there is a very bullish sentiment in this counter, and one can expect a very strong up move in positional basis. Let's say in short term perspective only, one can have a very decent up move in JBM Auto.
All right, that's JBM Auto for you, but Allcargo Terminals, Vamakshi, why is this one in the spotlight?
Well, Cheryl, this stock is in the spotlight after very long on the back of its numbers. The stock is, in fact, dealing under pressure today on the back of those numbers. Well, yes, we did see an uptick of almost 6.7% on a year-on-year basis as far as consolidated revenue is concerned. Revenue saw an uptick, but it is the EBITDA, the operational performance of the company actually took a hit. EBITDA saw a downtick of almost 31% on a year-on-year basis. We did see the margins also sharply contract by almost 860 odd basis points to 16%. The net profit has also come down much sharply, down nearly 50% on a year-on-year basis. So all in all, it does look like a weak set of numbers for Allcargo Terminals, and that is the reason why the stock is reeling under pressure today. As of now, the stock is trading near the day's lowest point at down nearly 5%.
Let's move on and talk about Engineers India on the chart. And also in the last 6 months, the stock has doubled from 80 rupees to 160 is what it's currently trading at. A sharp up move there. Would you still would you look at it as a buy call, or maybe it's time to book out profits here as well?
See, overall, there has been a very sharp move in this counter, and one can expect the upside target towards 164 on immediate basis. But looking at the risk and reward basis, on the downside, the support lies around the levels of 148 zone. So one should definitely try to gauge the momentum. So basically, one should try to have the approach of buy on the dips towards the zone of 150, and on the higher end, 164 should be the target for short-term traders. Also, the technical parameters, on the basis of technical parameters, the stock has already entered in the overbought territory. So one should not be very much aggressive in this counter, but no doubt on the higher end, there is still room of let's say 5 to 7 more points from here onwards. I was expecting a decent run in today's from today morning, but it has already given a 5% of return. So another 3 to 4% of movement is pending in this counter. So one should try to have a very pragmatic approach in this counter and try to accumulate on any dips.
All right, accumulate on any dips is what Osho has to say for EIL. But Ankita, Eris Life Sciences, why is this in the spotlight?
That's correct, Cheryl. Eris Life Sciences is in focus because the company has entered into a term loan agreement which is dated 21st August 2023 to avail the rupee term loan facility, and that is amounting to 120 crores from Citibank. Now, what will be the impact on the net debt? Now, the consolidated net debt of the company is not expected to be altered, and as an equivalent amount is expected to be paid to Citibank towards the repayments of outstanding loans over the next fortnight. And on the back of that, Eris Life Sciences is down 1% in trade today.
Let's move on and talk about NMDC, and on the charts, Osho, what is NMDC indicating now, and what is the target price that you're keeping for NMDC?
See, NMDC in past 2 months, that is from the month of July, has entered the cycle of higher highs, higher lows. And for the first time, it has came up towards above the 200-day SMA on the daily time frame. So that's again a very positive development on the technical part. But looking at the overall momentum in this counter, there will be a gradual and slow movement in this counter. But on the higher end, 128, which is the 52-week high, is to be retested in this counter. So one should try to gauge all the momentum, because as it is in the cycle of higher highs, higher lows. So on the downside, the support lies around 114, and on the higher end, 128 should be the target that one can expect from in the short run period. So one should try to gauge on any dip towards 115 or 14 zone for the upside target of 128.
All right, that is Osho's take coming in on NMDC. But Osho, don't go anywhere. CG Power, what's your take on this one?
See, power sector has already been in a very strong traction from past 2-3 days, and CG Power, looking at the overall trajectory that it has been in, so it is moving near to the 52 weeks high zone. So from here onwards, one can even expect the upside to move on the further zone of 435 on immediate basis. So one should try to accumulate this counter at the current level also for the immediate upside of 435. But looking at the overall trajectory from medium term perspective, one can even see a very decent up move in CG Power.
All right, moving on, let's talk about WellSpan Enterprises then, and this particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. It has hit a record high level as well, saw an uptick of as much as 3.2%, but now it's given up some of those gains. The company said that it has acquired 50.1% stake in Michigan Engineers for an amount of about 137 crore rupees, making Michigan a subsidiary of the company. The company has said that the acquisition aligns with its strategy to expand the water infrastructure business and marks its entry into high margin and high growth water and tunneling solution segment. The acquisition was also done by way of purchase of equity shares of Michigan Engineers from Autumn Investment and Infrastructure and Sansar Housing Finance. Remember that Michigan Engineers is engaged in underground infrastructure, water infrastructure, as well as sewage infrastructure projects. So on back of this good acquisition, which will supposedly help WellSpan Enterprises in its water infrastructure segment, the stock is trading higher. In fact, in the last 12 trading, in last 7 trading sessions, Vinny, the stock has seen an uptick of as much as 12%, and in the last 52 weeks, the uptick is about 174%.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on WellSpan Enterprises. But on that note, that was the last talk for today. So thank you so much Osho, Vamakshi, Ankita as well as Kanal for joining in with us, and it's going to be a good buy from Cheryl, myself as well as the team who put this show together. But don't go anywhere. Closing trades will take the action forward.